What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and of course, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Darby.
What's up?
And this week, we got another Tom Cruise alien invasion movie. This one's a bit different. It is The Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat. It's called by both names, but I think Edge of Tomorrow is the real name.
It is, they sort of remarketed Live, Die, Repeat when the Blu-ray released because Edge of Tomorrow did not do that well.
Okay.
So I guess they felt like, oh, we need something more catchier because it did better on streaming and Blu-ray sales.
That's when I kind of heard about it. And this was, I was telling you before, this was always like a movie that I was like, oh yeah, I should check that out. And I never did.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm sort of like the opposite. Like, I've heard of it, but because it was so... It didn't do great at the box office. I assumed it wasn't good.
Oh,
and that
you can't do that. You can't do that. There are plenty of movies that like...
I know. And really, the movie was just underrated, really. But because of that, I was like, I don't want to see this movie.
Yeah. But the premise of the movie is, before we get into details about it, Tom Cruise dies and he resets the day after he dies.
Yes.
And some aliens are invading the planet, and it's like a world army that's fighting against them, and they're trying to win.
Right, because basically the humans are losing badly. Yes.
And then against these aliens, yeah, I guess you would. I mean, even without the underlying issue, I'm like, I feel like we would be losing.
Yeah, like the way they seem to operate is just like, that's kind of hard to fight against, even though it's like clearly shows that, like, you know, you can blow them up and you can shoot them and you can stab them with helicopter blades.
Yeah.
But
she definitely had a helicopter blade.
But there's a lot of them. And then, like you said, with their superpower, I guess, makes it even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have projectiles too. Like they shoot fire projectiles, which was kind of cool because it like spirals around itself or something.
This is a very interesting organism.
Yeah. Apparently, the thought is that they go from planet to planet, and whenever they find a sentient species, they take it over.
I guess, but I never really studied like alien invasions. Like, why?
Resources. Like, let's put it in the minds of humans. If we could go to another planet and steal their resources, I mean, i.e., us going to another country and taking the resources, will we do it? And I would say yes. Maybe this is why all of our alien movies are about this, because this is what we would do.
Fair enough. Good point. Good point.
I feel like that's the case.
Okay.
We wouldn't be the nice aliens. Let's be real.
I mean, yeah. When you say it like that, it is kind of like, okay, well, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'd be like, why come to Earth? Like, what for? But why not? I guess.
You know, wipe out the species and take a little bit of gold.
I guess.
Actually, gold's probably useless.
For them, yeah. Unless you, I don't know, can melt it down and do stuff with it, or make a gold spaceship or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, it starts with Tom Cruise is a major.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And he's basically like, not really. He's in the army, but he has his position because he's a
media liaison.
Yeah. So he works in the media. I actually, and I mean, they can call his character a coward all they want. I kind of feel him on this. Like, he goes to the general's office and they're like, yeah, we're putting you on the front lines. And he's like, I'm not a soldier, you know?
Right. But see, like, think about this. True. He's not a soldier. He's the guy that's, you know, encouraged people, come join the army and die.
Yeah, propaganda guy.
But it's like, it was a photo op, really, right? We're going to put you on the front line. We're going to have camera crews, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm not doing that. Like, I get it's dangerous. He's like, I will die. And he would have died. However, Tom Cruise, maybe not blackmail the general.
Yeah. He did try to blackmail the general, which, you know, is messed up. Although I think the retaliation to that was also messed up because they just like knocked him out and put him on a base and then lied and said he was a private and that he deserted.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, so basically you put him, because he threatened to blackmail you, you said, well, you're going to die now, because despite we don't know that they're inevitably going to die anyway. But despite that, basically you told all the people around him, like the major said, the sergeant said, he said they now think that you think your life is more important than theirs. So no one's going to protect you on the battlefield. No one, like, that was messed up. You sent him to die. That's some David Uriah stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yes, I agree. That is extremely messed up. Like, that whole beginning part, like that first 20 minutes or so, was just all messed up. Tom Cruise messed up. Like, bro, there had to be, you're immediately ain't that guy. Aren't you supposed to be charismatic?
Yeah.
There should have been another way for you to talk your way out of this. Call your CO, feel like, hey, is there a better way to get this? Put a drone in and take pictures or something.
Yeah.
Why do I also have to be there? You do not go immediately to blackmail.
Yeah.
Insane.
Bad idea.
And like you said, it's also like, okay, so this guy do one dirty thing and then you said, I'm just going to set you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like his fellow squad mates, if that's, I don't know what you call them, but
the people in his squad, I guess,
they had instantly had no love for this dude.
Right. And would you? You wouldn't.
I mean, no. I mean, we're fighting a war.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, okay, and I'm out. Like, yeah. Instantly, like, gets the guy no proper training. He doesn't know how to work the suit. You know, they're making...
Yeah. He's like, how do I turn a safety off? And nobody's telling him. Like, okay, so you just want him to be attacked by an alien and have no way to defend himself. Great.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah. So I would agree. They did him dirty.
They definitely did him dirty.
Yeah.
But I guess it worked out. He wasn't a nice guy. Yes. I get it. I don't know. It's just me. I'm still like, yeah, you can't do people dirty.
No, but I guess, I don't know if the world is on the line.
But then again, and Tom Cruise said this, now he was just trying to get himself out of it, but he wasn't wrong. He was like, I could hurt somebody out there, which is true. You don't put an untrained soldier out on the field with the rest of the team. Like, it's not only like, okay, they're going to die, but you have the potential of harming the rest of the team.
Absolutely.
You know, really very bad idea.
Yes.
But yeah. So that's how he ends up in the war. And then this is when the premise of the movie really kicks off, right? So he comes across a really big blue alien. The regular ones are like orange, has orange lights coming out of them.
The Omegas, and he came across an Alpha.
He came across an Alpha and blew it up, which, you know, he was killing himself with the alien. Hey, noble for a coward, I'm going to say.
I mean, if I'm going to die, I'm going to take you with me.
But yeah, I feel it. So... he blows it up, but the alien's blood gets on in him, and so now he has the alien's power, which they explain. The reason why the humans are losing so badly is when the alphas die, the Omegan can reset the day, and now it knows what's going to happen. So they probably first came to Earth and lost the first battle, and then, well, now we know what to do. You know,
that's kind of ingenious. You figure, like, okay, it's always like, oh, the humans are losing, but this time it's like they probably was winning some of these fights.
Yeah,
and then it's just they keep resetting time, because like we know what the humans is gonna do. Like, you think like this first battle when they're storming Normandy Beach is like, I guarantee you the first time, who knows when we come in, how many times they did that, right?
Yeah, because we're coming in the middle, and we're supposing this is the first time they're storming it. But when we watch it, they're getting destroyed, and they're surprised because this is supposed to be an ambush, right?
Exactly, and you figured even then their dropship gets attacked.
Yeah, and they're like, it was a trap. They knew we were here, and that has to be because this happened already. Yeah. Alien reset time, and now they know what to do. Yeah, which is actually, it's pretty dope. I like that. I like the premise. Apparently, it resets. I mean, I guess it depends on how much alien blood you have, but the alphas have it reset a day, right at the beginning of the day.
The Omega is the one that resets it.
Omega resets
if an alpha dies.
Okay, so they generally reset it a day, but I think it can go further back than that.
Wasn't really explained, but I guess.
I'm gonna say it depends on how much alien blood you got, because Tom Cruise only reset back to a certain time until later.
Yes.
Um, so cool beans there. So now he's resetting and he's tripping because he keeps reliving the same day, Groundhog Day style, except for it's horrible because you're in a war. Which was interesting. Now, here's what I don't get. You know how we always talk about these movies and they always go to the scientists like, oh, you're so stupid, scientist, bad thing won't happen. All right, you have this person, and you have this person that knows everything, stuff he should not know, and at no time did they believe him. Like, no matter how many times he went back in time and tried to explain to the sergeant and his squad, at no time did they believe him.
I buy that. And I buy that because if you look at the sergeant, the guy, he seems like the kind of person who is my way no matter what.
Yeah.
Like that sergeant, like I buy it from that sergeant for sure.
Yeah, well, I guess eventually the team, without the sergeant, did.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that. And then you figured, here's a guy who quote unquote deserted. And now he's telling me the aliens know he's coming. I'm not sure. Even if I tell you something else, okay, they show the scene where he's like completing the guy's synthesis and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's not enough for me to believe our ship is getting ready to get attacked.
All right. Fair enough. What about the scientist? We're going to get to more of him in the future. The scientists that figured it out and then they just called him crazy and like demoted him to a mechanic.
I would like to have seen, because you figured what's the background on that?
Okay.
It's just, he's like, I created this device, and they're probably like, why? You know, I feel like maybe you needed more
proof or something.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do that.
So he has no proof.
Yeah.
Right, there's no proof that the aliens can reset time.
Yeah.
So how do you buy that?
How could you prove it? I mean, if you're losing, I guess, can you just try an avenue?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to try anything, no. But
you know?
Again, think of the people that's in charge.
Yeah, because that general was like, no, their storming of Normandy was going to be it, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's sure
this
is going to end the war.
He doesn't even listen. And okay, so you take that. And even then, now see that last scene with Tom Cruise and they're in his office and he does all of this. That's the moment where the general should have believed him, right?
Yeah, he still did.
Yeah. So that's something. Like the sergeant, I buy, but the general, come on now.
Yeah. So Tom Cruise meets on the battlefield Emily Blunt's character,
Rita or something.
Yeah. Where she's like a really cold, bad soldier, which we now know is because she had killed an alpha before and had the same power.
Yes.
Now, I thought so in the beginning of the movie. Well, I kind of knew about the time traveling power before watching. But I thought that was her deal because they said, oh, she defeated all these things in the first day, her first day as a soldier. And it's like, probably because to her, it wasn't her first day.
Right.
You know?
Right.
She went through it over and over and over again. And so, I mean, if you go through it enough times, you should gain some skill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he meets her on the battlefield, and eventually, you know, by proving to her that he has been through the day already, she tells him to come find her. So that's the premise of the next part of the movie. I think in this movie, I could have done with a little bit less. It wasn't too much, but I think I could have done with a little bit less of the repeats. Like,
I felt just when I was getting tired of it, they switched to something else.
Yeah.
Like, just when I was getting tired of seeing the first scene again, they switched to him finding her.
Yeah.
Just when I was getting tired of her training him, they switched to, hey, now we're on this other mission.
Yeah, trying to find it. Okay, so you think they did it at, like, just the right time?
At just the right time.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So, yeah, he has to convince her, which isn't hard since she been through it already. And I think at some point you just got to be like, hey, I have what you had before. We've talked before. Let's get on with it. You know, and it can be quicker.
Yeah.
each time. So she trains him into being a better soldier. Also, he meets the scientist. He explains the whole Alpha Omega thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they need to find the Omega.
Yeah.
And they think you can find it because you start getting visions of it. But apparently that's a trick.
Yeah, it's just the Omega searching for him. And so when the Omega gets close to where he is, he sends them a vision to basically lure him to that location.
Right.
And it's just a setup to kill him because since he has the time resetter power, they don't have it.
Right. So I was thinking, I'm like, does only one person have it at a time, or?
Yeah. It seems like only one person has it at a time. Yeah.
I wonder how that works. I mean, like, obviously, if he has the power, then the Omega can't reset him to not have the power.
Right. Because essentially he becomes an alpha.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
That part is a bit confusing. I mean, because I would think the Omega will always have the power. It's just you can't override his.
But see, but the Omega can only do it after an alpha dies.
So I'm thinking, well,
right?
I think it only does it when an alpha dies because then it receives that information. Because they said the alphas are like nerves, right? So it's like you hit your toe and your brain receives that information.
Right. So, but then if that was the case, then it should have been able to reset the time. Right?
It would have when that alpha died. But I'm thinking of it this way.
Okay.
Let's say we're playing a game, right? Mm-hmm. And we both have a controller. We both can hold the PS button and then reset the console, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whoever does it is going to reset it, but it doesn't override your power to reset it.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying? So the Omega can reset, but I think it was like, does it matter? Because Tom Cruise can then reset as well. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I'm not sure if it's true.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a confusing part of it. It's just a theory.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, I can't do this. That's a trademark?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, the only way to figure out if that was true is to read the book.
Maybe we should watch a film theory.
You think he did a film?
He definitely on this. Yeah. This has film theory all over it.
It does. There were so many things like ending explained, and I'm like, is this gonna make my head hurt?
Probably will make your head. No, I think the ending was well explainable. I don't think it was.
A lot of people have issues with the ending.
At first, I did, but then I thought about it, and I said, "Oh, you know what?
Okay.
I think it makes sense, and I'll get to it once we get to the end."
Okay.
All right. So we'll go to him going to where they thought the Omega was, and it turns out it was a trap. They had an alpha and one of the other orangey things, the mimics, there with it. And I thought it was interesting because when Emily Blunt's character was like, "Oh, hey, I got badly injured, and then all of my blood, like they replaced my blood, and then I didn't have the power anymore. So apparently the power is in your blood."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "But how do you know that? Because you wouldn't know unless you die, right?" But she said she could just feel it, I guess.
He said he could feel it. But then think about it. She gets severely injured. She's in a hospital, has a blood transfusion. All of a sudden, she can't reset the time anymore.
How does she know? Because you can't reset the time unless you die.
It has to be a feeling.
Okay. Yeah, it would have to be a feeling.
Yeah.
That you can't do it anymore. And apparently it's true. And the aliens know that.
Yeah.
Because when they ambushed Tom Cruise, they didn't try to kill him. I thought that was a really interesting scene. Because, they weren't trying to kill him. Mm-hmm. They injured him and they were trying to let his blood run out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So, it kind of just solidified that for you. Mm-hmm. And I think before that scene, the way Emily Blunt had explained it, I'm like, that's kind of stupid. I don't like it. But then, I don't know. It kind of was like, yeah, no, that is how it works. And the aliens know that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty good. But he ends up drowning himself or squishing himself. I don't know what happened.
I think he drowned himself.
Yeah. So, before he bled out, he drowned.
Yeah.
So
just horrible. Jump off a bridge or something.
I don't know.
Goodness.
Well, he did try to kill himself and the alien stopped him, didn't it? Didn't he try to shoot himself? I think he tried to shoot himself.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know, but drowning's a horrible way to die.
Well, I mean, the alien's watching you, stopping you from dying a quick death and slowly bleeding out.
Okay.
So He should have jumped into the hole.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jump off a
Would
cliff.
they have caught him?
No. You think so?
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Or like ram your head into a rock or something. I don't know.
Right, because that's not painful.
But yeah, well, you need to die.
Okay.
So, you know what I thought was kind of messed up through this was like Emily Blunt continuously shooting him.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I would be like him, like, hold on, like, all right, I'm not dying. But she's like, no, if you're injured,
that is true. Right. If he's injured, then you can't help me.
Yeah.
Right. I need a healthy Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I'm like, man, jeez.
Yeah, she was kind of ruthless.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention the one scene when he was trying to make it over to her character and he tried to do that whole roll under the truck thing but failed.
That was funny.
And got ran over.
Yes.
Yes.
It was funny because I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I thought he was actually going to roll under the truck.
Yeah.
But again, he's not a trained soldier, so yeah, no, it didn't work out for him. But I guess when you try it like a few times, what if he got rolled on and didn't die one of them times? Like he broke a leg.
He's gonna have to kill himself.
Mm-hmm. That sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So after that, they now know that it's lying to them, so they have to try and use the scientist's little device thing, right?
Yes.
Which is, I don't know, a radio signal.
It's really far fetched.
Yeah. Basically, you plug it into an alpha, and
stuff happens,
and then it finds the omega somehow. Yeah. That's really not explained.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like you're saying, like, well, they should have listened to the scientist guy. Even we're saying, like, well, what does this thing do?
All right, fair
imagine.
Enough.
And then the scientist guy didn't really seem like the most sane person.
True. Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah. He didn't seem very sane.
And then, how exactly were you going to plug it into an alpha? Think about Tom Cruise worked because he got the goo on him.
Now, here was my question, because they didn't explain how it worked until they got the real one from the general. And we're going to talk about that scene. But when they got it, Tom Cruise stabbed it in himself, and then Tom Cruise found out how.
Yes.
Where the omega was.
Yeah.
So putting it in an alpha does what exactly? Because
how you see what the alpha is saying.
Yeah. Because Tom Cruise is the one that saw it when he stabbed himself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sticking it in the alpha wouldn't work. Yeah, that was a whole plot hole section there. It was weird. It was weird, but fine.
Yeah. I'm
letting it go.
Yeah. I think this movie requires some thought and maybe rewatching of some scenes to be like, did this get explained clearly?
Probably not.
And I'm not sure if maybe it did and I just missed it.
No, I think this device definitely did not get explained.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think so, but.
So, okay. The working device is in the general's office. So they have to sneak back in. I do like how they started doing scenes where it was, okay, we've been through this a bunch of times, and it's just like, because he's helping Emily Blunt since she can't reset anymore. He's like, okay, this guy always recognizes you, so we got to do this. So instead of us watching it over and over again, it's like, oh, okay, they've done this tons of times already.
I like that they hinted at, like, we didn't talk about the helicopter scene.
Yeah.
Where this is our first time seeing it, and we don't get the hint that they did this multiple times. And so basically it's like Tom Cruise is stalling. And it's because, and then she's like, well, how many times have we done this?
Yes. Okay. So that is the Bard scene.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that because you saw like Emily Blunt's slow realization. Because, well, okay. The general, they got the item from the general. And then why did he still chase him down? Okay, Tom Cruise basically proved that this was true. The general knew about it because he had the device, so that means he knew what the doctor was working on.
Yes.
Tom Cruise proved it by basically proving that he has been here a ton of times in dealing with the general and trying to get it from him.
Right.
Proving that he knows what's going to happen. Stopping Emily Blunt from shooting the general, because obviously that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And he gives him the device, but then
basically tries to get them arrested still.
Yeah, I'm like, first of all, why is that your go-to play? Yes, go ahead and go. Oh, arrest them. Like, what's wrong with you? And then why at that point did you do that?
Because like I said, the general's a crazy person. Obviously, right? We said it at the same time. Why? Okay, it's one thing to force Tom Cruise to go into battle,
Yeah.
but did you have to demote him and make him appear to be a deserter?
Yeah. I'm like, what's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
I just that whole general mentality is like there's something wrong with this guy. Cause you get it. It's like you could have just said no, like he said no 1,000 other times, but this time he said, "Fine, I'm gonna give you what you want, and then have you killed."
Right? And then so Tom Cruise gets injured and
He loses.
doesn't die, so he loses the power.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But they did figure out where the Omega was in the Louvre, Paris. So cool. They're gonna go there anyway without the power. All right. I guess we'll back up to that pharmacy.
Brad's like, how did you get away from talking about the farm?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, because we passed it. We had passed it well before because that was before the.
But it's an important scene to talk about.
All right. We'll back up. So this is before he goes to the first place they thought the Omega was. All right. So apparently, him and Emily Blunt have tried a bunch of times. Like, I mean, how long has it? You think this took a couple of years in his mind? Like, you gotta think about it.
I feel like it has to be because he goes from not being a soldier to that final time we see him on the beach, and him and Emily Blunt is just killing it.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of time to be that trained, to be that one. Those suits that they wear is like it takes a lot of training in that because they're like big and heavy, and you gotta really know how to work it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my mind, this is over a year.
Yeah.
Of trying.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. I mean, we don't know how many times he died on the beach before he talked to Emily Blunt. How many times he died trying to get to Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I forget her character's name.
Rita.
Before he talks to Rita, how many times they died after they figure out where they need to go? Like, this could have been one or a few years. Long for him the same day. I might go crazy with that.
Yeah, which I think is like you kind of see what her character is like because we know she did it at least for a year because she said she watched Hendrix die like 300 times.
Yeah.
So imagine if he also experienced a similar thing 300 times. Like there's a scene on the beach where basically he lets Kimball just whatever. He's nonchalant, and that's basically what Rita is. Just like I've done this 1,000 times. She's more hardened. She's more. I forgot what word I'm thinking of, but it's just like it's probably why she's so ruthless in killing Tom Cruise. Just whatever, you'll be back.
Yeah. I mean, after a while.
Yeah.
So they end up at the barn because they get a car. Everything works out for them, and he's like, "Well, we'll just sit here for a while." And she's like, "No, we need to go. We can take this helicopter." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "No, let's chill." And it was real interesting. Like her slow realization that he had done this a tons of time because like he makes some coffee. She's like, I'm surprised you saw coffee. And he's like, oh, you like 3 sugars in it and stuff and blah blah blah. And then she's like, how many times have you done this?
Yeah.
And basically he's like, well, like she said when Hendrix, like, okay, every time you start the helicopter, you die.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And I guess his hang up, which is a true hang up, is if I solve this problem after you die, you stay dead.
Yeah.
So he's like, I got to do this without you dying. And I guess eventually he decided he has to do it without her.
Yes. Which then leads to him learning that it's a trap.
Yeah.
Because after that, we see, of course, she starts the helicopter. She immediately dies. Not immediately. It was a good scene. But she dies. And so then that's the scene after that. Is like he starts to go to her, go through the whole thing all over again. And this time he's like, no, I'm not taking you with me.
Yeah. So that's the only way she doesn't die. She doesn't know about it at all. So this time she doesn't even know he can reset time, and he goes and does it. Which I guess worked out because she doesn't die. And now they know it's really in Paris.
Yes.
And then now they both don't have the power. So now they need to go to Paris. They convinced their squad, J Squad.
Yes.
To go. And this is crazy because everybody can die finally here.
Yes. And so now that everyone can die, no one dies except for J Squad. J Squad.
Oh,
died.
J Squad. Yeah, they
Yes.
died before they landed. Like
Yeah.
it was just bad. It was bad.
Just
In the end,
all
it was
bad.
just her and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but when they're in the little shippy thing and he's getting dragged in the water,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're dead.
He's so dead.
You're so
Oh my
dead.
goodness. Okay, if he survives this, didn't they like crash and then like he crashes into the Louvre, like
Yeah.
out of the ship bouncing in, and he just like rolls like, oh yeah, there's her. I'm like, no, you're dead. Your
He's
arms are broken.
So
Like
dead.
and then he falls down like a hole. And I'm like, bro, how many concrete slabs can this dude land on before he dies?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you know, I guess plot armor, he doesn't.
Because now you need him not to die.
Yeah.
They should have made it a less dramatic entrance into the Louvre. Just saying.
So yes, the Omega is really there.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Blunt dies again.
Yes.
But this time Tom Cruise takes a bunch of wait a second.
Yeah.
I just realized this just now. Like
Okay.
literally just now. He
Please tell.
defeats an alien with a bunch of grenades again.
Yes.
Like he did in World of World.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Very similar.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he goes down. The Omega's underwater. You got an Alpha chasing him. He does get stabbed by the Alpha, but it doesn't matter. He releases the grenades into the Omega, and he's like, you know, fine, thinking he's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Blows up the Omega, and the Omega starts bleeding, and it gets on him, which allows him to reset time. Now
Mm-hmm.
he goes back further this time
Mm-hmm.
to when he first talked to the general.
Yes.
Okay, there's a few things to explain here. So first, I was like, wait, if the Omega dies, doesn't it just reset time?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. I feel like this is a pothole. But then I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you lose the power?
It transferred to someone else.
Yeah, or bleeding out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
So it transferred to Tom Cruise. So there's our one theory. And then if the Omega didn't die right away, but just lost all its blood, then it loses the power to reset time.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with the Omega not resetting time.
Okay.
My issue is how does Tom Cruise reset the time to the day he first met the general and keep the Omega dead?
Okay. So I think that makes sense because the Omega's still dead.
And the
But
Omega is still
maybe,
dead.
I mean, if you're a thing that controls time, so maybe the Omega. All right, we're getting into some real like string theory. I'm not sure if it's string theory. Don't talk about me. But maybe the Omega is something that exists across time. Like in order for you to reset it to a certain time, maybe to it is alive during all those periods.
Okay. But does that make sense though? Because okay, he resets the time instead of meeting the general about storming. What was Operation Downfall? I think it was called or something.
Mm-hmm. The general's like something happened in Paris.
Something
and
happened
it's
in
done.
Paris, and we now think that we can start winning these battles. But that would have been way before the point in time that Tom Cruise would have been down there blowing up the Omega.
Yeah, no, it was before. So, which makes me think killing the Omega kills it.
Across time.
But, well, it would have killed it back to where Tom reset time. Oh, see, now this is really confusing because if it killed it across time, wouldn't it killed it at the beginning of the war?
This is why I hate time travel.
This is
movies.
why time travel sucks.
Because my only thing is I am fine with him now having Omega's power, right? So now he's the Omega. I don't know what that means in the future or whatever.
Oh, yeah, he can still reset time.
He can still reset time. Does that mean he can reset time willy-nilly? But there's no alphas. Does
There's
he
no alpha,
need an
so he
alpha?
has to die.
Unless he has a kid, with his kid become an alpha?
Oh, wow. And then his kid finds out he could reset time.
See,
Wow,
this is a
it's crazy.
whole...
Wait, can he create save points? I'm just saying, like,
Check.
can I just like quick save real quick, and then see what happens? I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, that is confusing. I didn't even question it when the Alpha remained dead in the past.
Yeah.
Because basically, that's he killed it in the future and it was dead in the past somehow.
Yeah.
That needs some explaining.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I mean, maybe someone else can break it down for me or whatever. I don't know.
Because
Or so he kills the Omega. He now has the power of the Omega, right?
mm-hmm.
Does that mean that he now can reset time at any point that he wants to and still keep the Omega dead?
Maybe.
I mean, that's the only way it works.
So he can control it. I just thought about it. The Omega, when Tom Cruise reset the timeline, the Omega didn't know about it, right? Because if the Omega did know about Tom Cruise's resets, then they wouldn't have been able to like overpower the aliens on the beach or whatever.
Yeah, no, they didn't know about it because that's why they was like they had to find Tom Cruise, right? They know someone else has the power. They have to find him.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right about that.
Okay. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Since it's disconnected, I don't know. We're gonna just let that one go. So the Omega is dead in the past now.
Yes.
Tom Cruise can meet with the general. He doesn't have to cower it out.
Yes.
So he can go to the base as an actual major.
Yes.
And he gets to meet up with Rita. Now, he can still explain to her and she will believe him.
But why? Wouldn't you just, isn't it better just to start fresh?
Well, I mean, if you run a kidder like you might want to tell her about the time resetty thing, because otherwise it's like, why are you coming to me?
And then maybe he's just a charming person who she's interested in.
Okay. Do you think she'd be interested in him without the time that they've been to? Well, I guess he's the one that spent all the time with her.
He's attached to her, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, I get it, right? If you spend a year...
You might want to explain... that's what I'm saying. You might want to explain that to her so she can actually give you the time of day. Because, like, it's going to be real messed up. You're going to be on some real stalker type stuff if it's like, I have this really strong attachment to you. And this girl is like, I don't know you.
Well,
you know?
I wouldn't go in with, I know you. How about go in, well, is it wrong to pretend like you don't know her and you do?
Yeah, because you know everything about her. He knows her middle name.
Right, it's Rose.
It's Rose.
Yeah, I guess he has to tell her.
Yeah. Like, explain to her what they've been through. Now, that's not going to make her like him.
Right.
But she may understand.
Right. But then isn't that also equally as weird?
Well, it's not like he stalked her. He actually spent time with her.
Now this guy who knows everything about me, but I don't know anything about you.
Well, yeah. But I feel like it's less weird than...
Pretending like you don't know her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because pretending like you, then it does come off like a stalker thing.
Yeah, and then she finds out later, and that's the end of that relationship.
Yeah, see? You gotta tell her.
Okay, yeah.
Well, we don't know if he did or not, because that's the end of the movie when he meets her.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting movie, I thought, though.
I did. Like I said, or at least I thought I said, going in, I had no idea. I mean, I knew about the he dies and come back. I didn't know why. I didn't know this was an alien movie. I had literally zero knowledge about this movie. And then when it was like starting, I was like, oh, this movie is like not at all what I thought it was going to be about.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I also thought that it was great that Tom Cruise, he usually plays a character who's good at everything.
Yeah.
Real charming. Like, oh, I can really fight. I'm a really great spy, or I'm a really great soldier. And here in the beginning, he was not those things.
No. No, he wasn't. He wasn't for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I like because it was different.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's not always in the Mission Impossible style movies, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, overall, I mean, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did think this was a good movie. Did you have any interesting movie facts?
I did.
Okay.
Okay, so this was based off a novel called All You Need Is Kill.
Oh.
By Hiroshi Sakurazuka.
Maybe they should have stuck with that name.
Yeah, I really believe this movie did not do as well because The Edge of Tomorrow doesn't really tell you anything.
It doesn't. I get it. He's on the edge of tomorrow because he keeps reliving the same day. I get it.
Yeah, but it's like they wanted to come with a catchy Groundhog Day title and said,
Yeah.
"What do we call it? The Edge of Tomorrow?" You better off just calling it Groundhog Day then. If
Yeah.
that's what you were gonna do.
Yeah, that book title was definitely way better.
Yeah. So yeah, based off a Japanese novel, All You Need to Kill. I mean, then you figure when it releases on streaming and stuff, Warner Brothers start promoting Live, Die, Repeat, which again is a lot better than The Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I do not know why Warner Brothers went with that title. You hurt yourself. So, this movie, it did okay, but not super great. You know, great for a blockbuster. Budget was about $178, not including marketing.
Okay.
It made about $370.
They got a little bit over.
Yeah, but they were hoping for a lot more.
Yeah. No, that didn't make a lot of money. Your budget usually is double. You double it for the marketing. So you're talking about they made a few like tens of millions maybe, which is not great for a movie.
No, not a movie of this caliber.
Yeah,
definitely not. Yeah, so kind of sucks. The film takes place in the year 2020.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Well, we didn't get attacked by aliens.
No, we did not. But
it was a different thing.
Obviously, Tom Cruise did all of his stunts. Obviously,
Emily
Blunt did most of hers.
Okay, she's a good actress.
Yes, and she got into some really good shape in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes, those exosuits weighed about 80 pounds because, of course, they made them.
I was going to say that doesn't sound heavy enough.
You don't? I don't know. I think that's kind of heavier.
It's heavy, but like if that was a real exosuit, I feel like it'd be heavier.
Yes, you are correct. I think in the book they said how much it weighs, and I didn't write it down, but it was more than 180.
Yeah.
It was definitely over, like, I think it was like over 120, something like that.
Yeah.
But even still, I mean, trying to run around an 80-pound suit.
Well, I mean, it's powered.
Right, so I guess it's doing most of the work. But I'm talking about in the movie, it's not powered. The actors wearing them is not powered.
Oh, yeah.
Still
so they got run around. Yeah, that's why they look so clunky running around.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. I'd be in great shape, too, if I had an 80-pound person strapped to me.
Seems like a good workout plan.
Okay.
Just wear 80 pounds throughout the day.
Just have your kids strapped to your back.
Yeah, they do.
They probably total 80 pounds.
Trying to do push-ups, and they were like, "Oh, let's sit on his back." And I'm like, "Let's not, let's not do this."
Okay. In the book, this takes the place over 160 days. That's not long enough.
No. So half a year.
Yeah. To me, the movie definitely indicates that this is more than a year worth of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. The novel 160 is not nearly long enough.
No, not for that level of expertise. I mean, you gotta think like the first few days or months of doing this, you're just getting killed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you're just getting killed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, not long enough. Let's see. The meteor strike shown in the beginning news expositions was an actual meteor strike that hit Russia in 2013.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it's not the aliens from the Tomorrow War.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. And there was a planned sequel that for whatever reason could never really get off the ground.
What would it be about, though?
I have no idea.
Tom Cruise still resets.
I mean, because I kept thinking, like, what would the sequel be about?
More aliens come?
Do I want to see that?
No.
Because unless Tom Cruise turns into an alien himself, there's nothing else to have a story about.
Yeah, there's no sequel on this one.
Unless it's a prequel, but they didn't say that.
Oh, about Emily Blunt's character, maybe.
Now, see, that would be a movie I would want to watch, I guess.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, but whatever. It never happened. So.
You know what I never thought? I know they were like, oh, when the alphas die, it resets. So they're like, don't kill the alpha. I was like, but what if we do kill the alpha and we get the blood on a bunch of people? Like,
but I mean, what is the odds of that though?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about like 1 in a million chances of that happening.
I guess, yeah. Target the alpha? No, okay, no, never mind. No, because then it resets.
See, not a good plan.
Not a great plan. All right.
Yeah. In the book, Rita still had her time powers.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they both had it. The ending is definitely different in the book.
See, that's what I was saying. So if two people can have it, then Omega did still have it. It's just,
right, but
one time reset overrides the other.
yeah, but she ended up having to kill herself so that only he had the power.
Okay, I'm confused now. Never mind.
I didn't read the book, so this is snippets of information I'm getting from the internet about how it worked in the book.
All right.
But yeah, so there's something was weird about them both having it at the same time.
Okay.
And in the book, the ending is different. Like, I think in the movie, they just wanted it to have a happy ending. I would have been okay with it if Tom Cruise would have just died.
Yeah. I was like, it kind of sucks that J Squad is all.
Yeah,
died.
I really did feel bad for them. I'm like, man, not a single person from this made it.
I mean, they all died either way, so.
I mean, yeah. But I just felt like, oh, you got them, and then they immediately die like 5 minutes later, and it's just,
sure did.
it's just,
Jesus.
It's just Rita and what was his name, Bill?
What's his name, Bill? I guess, yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. So
we got to see them make it. Now they don't have to storm Normandy Beach.
Yes, which is great. Yeah, so the ending is different in the book. Okay.
So they all die.
I don't know. I just know that the war was still going on.
Oh, it was still going on afterwards.
Yes, and there was no Omega in the book.
Oh.
Don't see now. See you about to start with a whole bunch of more questions.
All right, no. Go ahead with the movie facts now. Now the whole story has changed.
Okay, that was my last movie fact.
All right, so nitpicks. I think we mentioned. Basically.
We mentioned it. We mentioned about him blackmail the general. Here's what I don't understand, and maybe they didn't know. Tom Cruise is the media liaison guy. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't some of those squad people would have recognized him?
Yeah, you would have seen him on TV.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, okay, in Captain America, he's the propaganda person.
Exactly. That's exactly what I think.
And the people knew who he was, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes, yeah. I'm like, are they all just choosing to ignore that fact, or I don't know, or did they really not? Yeah.
The sergeant would have known.
Yes, definitely.
He definitely would. He's a major. He definitely would have known. Like, oh, okay, yeah. And he's like, oh, you're a private. They're saying you're impersonating an officer.
Yeah.
And like,
there's no way you don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if Rita is a well-known figure, right? Does she need to sneak into the building with the general? Can she just roll up in there?
Well, she's not supposed to be there.
Why not?
She's not. Oh, is she she's a sergeant.
Yes. I'm just saying
she's still not supposed to be there. She's supposed to be on base because she's about to go on to work.
So you're saying she can't leave base?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess if they recognize her, what are you doing here? Type of deal.
But I think that if the Angel of Verdun comes in and says, I want to talk to the general, this person, this bigger than life character, the one who single-handedly beat all these aliens, she doesn't get to sit down with the general?
Maybe not. I would think the general himself, after they sneak in to talk to him, seeing her there would maybe get a bit of belief in what they're saying.
I mean, I agree with you. The general should believe them no matter what. Like, the fact that she's there should say something. The fact, like you said, like the scene we seen, Tom Cruise is telling you exactly what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And even after all of that, you're still like, I'm going to have you killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, something ain't right.
And then Tom Cruise said it in there. He was like, we've been through this before. And usually you just say no.
Yeah.
Right? So even after all that, in the past hundreds of times they tried, probably he just said no.
Yeah.
Which.
Yeah.
Like, goodness gracious.
Yeah, that I don't know. Something's wrong with that guy.
Yeah.
That was my last nitpick. I really didn't have a lot of faults with this movie. Besides, time travel.
Yeah, well, that's every time travel movie. It's problematic. You can't time travel. Let's just stop it because it's impossible.
It always creates
except for the theory of relativity, which creates problems. No, it's because it's so confusing.
And this is why,
Like, you know, like if you're closer to a black hole than someone else, then like they would, like they did in Interstellar,
mm-hmm.
because gravity affects time, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, I hate doing time travel movies
Yeah,
because we have these same type of conversations every single time.
because it's confusing. All right, we can rate it.
Okay.
I pay for that. I thought it was an enjoyable movie that I would have paid to go see it in theater if I had done that in the past.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I went in thinking I wasn't going to like this movie. Even though I said, "Yo, we're gonna watch this movie this week,"
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, this movie's gonna suck."
Well, I think I mentioned it a few times because it was on HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would say I'll pay for that. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie to watch, and I might have to watch it again. I understand this time travel stuff.
I'm gonna see if there's a film theory on it.
Yeah, probably. There probably is.
Yeah. See what Matt Pat thinks. I probably broke down some math in there. All right. Yeah. But no, that's our thoughts on The Edge of Tomorrow. May I never have to relive the same day over and over again. Or I mean, let it be like the greatest day ever, and then that'll still get
Because you get tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. I don't want to do that.
No.
I don't want the power of time travel. I don't want ever want that power.
No.
I don't want to go in the future.
Because one change in the past always changes something else. So the thing is it ever really worth it?
Right. And then yeah, I definitely don't want to go in the past.
Yeah.
No. I don't want to get stuck in the past. Don't want to live in the past. Look, the past is always worse than the future. I get it, apocalypses and whatnot. But generally, in apocalyptic situations, the future is better. So
maybe, but what if you don't like your future?
I don't know.
See?
Oh, okay. Then we could be like those comic characters that go back and live in the past. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, those are our thoughts on Edge of Tomorrow. What did you think about it? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more movie reviews, and we will catch you next time.